So the evolution of Dirt Vision, okay, and what they've done with it. I think Dirt Vision's been really, really good. But at one time, it was a camera next to the tower and Johnny Gibson with the call.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've added to it, and they've added the drone, which is spectacular. But the one thing they've added to me that is really, really neat is the roving camera that can be in the work area of the pit area. Now that, I think we knew a little bit what happened down there. I don't think we knew everything that happened. Erin, you probably knew everything because you've been there before.
Yeah, more times than I'd like to.
Well, I'm not saying, oh, dear God, I'm not saying you spent your career in the work area.
I'm saying I did spend a decent amount of time in the work area.
Oh, my God, this woman just reads into everything. No, I'm just kidding.
No, truly, I did spend a decent amount of time in the work area. But I know what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
The camaraderie, the help that happens in the work area. And I have experienced it as a driver, and it is the neatest thing.
Yeah.
Like when you see crew members from every team running to your car to help, it is the coolest thing. It's. I remember I got a flat here at racing at Charlotte, and Ray talks about to this day, Stevie Kinzer, Steve's daughter, she's the one who took the right rear off, and he was like, she jumped in and beat me to it. There's just always been that. And I'm glad that everyone is now getting to see it because of Dirt Vision.
There you go. Dirt Vision is showing us what has been going on. And I just think it's amazing what's going on when you see a car roll in the worker, and it doesn't matter what name is on the car, what color the car is. You get multi-clad uniforms and guys in gray T-shirts and black T-shirts that are, I don't know. And the next thing you know, you're seeing parts and pieces come off cars, parts and pieces go on cars, and the driver rolling back out after 2 minutes. And it's like, and you're just like, well, wait a minute, you
don't see that in many other forms.
No, you don't see that in many other forms. By the way, she is Erin Evernham. I am Steve Post. This is Wing Nation, the podcast. And today we're having all this conversation. One of the guys that is just in the middle of it all down there is Drew Brenner. Drew is with Sheldon's team, Stenhouse Marshall Racing, the NOS Energy team. Yep. And there are a handful, well, they're all in there all the time. Mm-hmm. Drew and Gravy, and you can't go to the work area without seeing Gravy in there. Yep. I mean, with Jason Side's team and Drew in there. Yeah. And now Drew is a big guy with the flowing hair and the vibrant personality, so he certainly stands out. We're going to talk to him about this.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I want to find out. Okay, I want to find out what tools are in his pocket when he goes there.
Well, I think the neat thing, too, is that whoever's mule, that's what we call them
that's exactly, days. From a friends at HRP, I drove one of those
turns out.
Absolutely.
But they hop in it like it's their own. They don't even, when that work areas happen, and it's almost like they know exactly where everyone else's tools are. Like, they must have a uniform, like you put the wrenches here, you put your sockets and ratchets here, because it's the neatest thing to watch. Everyone just dives in, puts them back. It's so cool.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Okay? And I plan on using this a little bit later on. Tim Clausen. Of course, we love Tim Clausen.
Oh, you bet.
Okay. Tim Clausen tweeted, and he's more on the wingless side. I get this, the USAC side.
He's converting. He's coming our way.
Okay. I have said this before. All of the world should be a sprint car work area. The way everyone jumps in to help their neighbor is inspiring. Could you imagine if Congress was filled with crew guys? 2 minutes, an impact, and a 9/16, and they could fix anything. Thanks for the help on the 7BC. So it was after a night when he was on the receiving end of that. That's beautiful words from Tim Clausen.
Really is.
Not shocking, but it is. And we live in this world where the all about me mentality, and this work area is none of that.
The complete opposite.
It's the complete opposite. So I love the way Tim described that. I really did. And so we're going to talk to Drew Brenner, one of the guys that's in the middle of that mess.
Always
in the middle. Yes, always in the middle of that mess. So it is neat. And really neat also was the off-road excursion that Reitzel's lost his mind. I think I've known Aaron Reitzel's lost his mind. When we saw this kid on the short tracks of Texas and ASCS bouncing the car through the ruts and cowboying up like nobody else could, but then to do what he did at Knoxville, I mean, some of you are going to watch this. A lot of you are going to listen to it. He was off-road buggy in this thing. I mean, he was off-road buggy in this thing. It was Aaron Reitzel, Ian Madsen, Austin McCarl. Saturday night at Knoxville, it was on Dirt Vision. Our good friend Tony Bachhoven with the call. It's a Drydean diesel all death-defying move of the week.
Now for the Drydean Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Ian goes right to the outside of Austin as he goes to the inside of turn number 1. Aaron Reitzel right there as well. Reitzel now to the inside for second and 3. Car bound for the lead down the back chute 3 wide into turn 3. Aaron Reitzel takes the lead in turn number 4.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Drydean Diesel All Def, the official def of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Drydean.com for more information.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are
Team Drydean.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Drydean. I didn't even mention that. We're presented by Drydean, by DRF Racing, and by Hercules Tires. We're going to the Sage Fruit Hotline. We're in the Hercules Tires studios. We're full fortunate. We got so many good friends. We really are, okay? But we don't have nearly as many friends as a driver does who comes into the work area. I'm going to start with a Twitter quote from Robbie Kendall. Robbie is one of the Pennsylvania guys. We actually talked to Robbie. He did well during the iRacing portion of our lives. And Robbie does this tweet a week or two back. Drew Brenner, you don't know me from a hole in the wall, but much respect to you to step in and help change my right rear, along with Stephen, I guess, from the 83. I'll buy a round one day. And I think that's what kind of started me, and then watching Dirt Vision. And Drew was quick to point out that there was a lot of guys helping, and he's right. There was a lot of guys helping, but joining us now on the Sage Fruit Hotline is Drew Brenner. Drew, welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We are doing well. We've got a lot of ground we want to cover with you but the I don't know, philosophy, work areas at the World of Outlaw pit area and in the World of Outlaws. How do you go into a night of that? What's your mindset going into that?
Well, I mean, handle every day like it's just another race day. I get all excited each morning that I wake up and it's race day. Me and my old man text back and forth, hey, it's race day. Just get all amped up. And, I'm obviously a big, supporter of Sheldon, my driver. And, he's a great friend of mine. And I just get excited for him and our race team. I don't know. I think all the emotions of the excitement and adrenaline that go into a whole race night just get me going each and every day.
Drew, we were talking more specifically about the work area. Every time Dirt Vision shows, we see you're right there. And I think it's just, we talked about the open of the show. It's one of the neatest things about the World of Outlaws. You don't see that in other forms of motorsports. You don't see guys from another crew running over to help. If you did, everyone would be like, what in the world are they doing? But with the Outlaws, it's normal. It's what you do. Talk about those moments. I mean, it doesn't matter who pulls into the work area. If they need something, you're there, right?
Yeah, I think it's a testament to, how big of a family we are out on the road. You have guys from, KKR with Andrew and Joe, and then you got the 83 guys like Steven and Brent, and then you got Jacob and Brad from TSR. All these guys from different teams are willing to jump in and help on any given night. It was like the night that we crashed at Wilmot. We flipped, and, it was front end, left rear, top wing, nose wing, a whole bunch of components on the car that were wrecked. And when we came down into the work area, I mean, I would say it was almost a member from almost every single team that came down to help us get that car back out on the track. And that really, it didn't take me by surprise, but it was really cool to see pretty much every single person, because it was so crowded down there, but we had so much work to do to, in the 2 minutes that we had. And, we just kind of always have each other's back when we're down, meaning from, if we're coming in the work area and you need help, you need hands, I think every race team, guys from each team are willing to jump in. And, it also brings some excitement too. You get the adrenaline rush of trying to beat the clock and get parts changed. And I find a big joy in that. But also, finding the joy in seeing, the racer getting back out on the track. I never want to see our car come into the work area. But when it does, I feel like, sometimes when I help out other teams, it may, trigger something in their brain to be like, hey, he helped us out once, why don't I go help them? And that's kind of what I feel like happened at Wilmot in Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. So it was really cool to see that. But everyone, everyone's, friends out here, competitors on the track, friends off the track. But when somebody needs help, I feel like not only myself, but, pretty much everybody else from other teams are willing to, step up and jump in to help.
They are, for sure. You mentioned the adrenaline rush of it. Is there ever a time when you only have a few minutes to get it all done that it's almost too chaotic? Like too many people, too rushing? Does it ever actually backfire in a way to have that many people putting their hands in?
I feel like if somebody, can't get a bolt in a hole or, something goofy like that, it's almost like they step back and the next person can jump in to, try their way to get that bolt in or, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. If you're running around and you need to get to something and somebody's in your way or vice versa, I feel like at times then it could be a little crowded at that point. But, really the more hands, is more helpful in the long run. You got more eyes on the car too to spot out things that are, may have been missed, mm-hmm. that are broken or whatever. But yeah, I don't think it gets a little chaotic with everyone running around and hooting and hollering at each other. But it's an adrenaline rush to beat the time and to get things, put back together, safely and correctly. So you're not sending a driver back out on the racetrack, with like a loose wheel or loose bolt or something crazy like that. But it's definitely adrenaline rush, and I'd say it's an adrenaline rush for most people that are willing to jump in.
No doubt it is. Drew Brenner is joining us. He is the tire specialist for Sheldon Haudenschild's team, the NOS Energy Drink team, Stenhouse Marshall Racing, the number 17 for Sheldon. Drew, okay, so you get done, the cars are rolling out, they're ready to go. You have the mule there that has much of the stuff. What tools do you always have in your pocket or in your hand when a race starts?
I always keep a screwdriver in my back pocket. If a right rear comes in that's flat, you got to have a screwdriver to get the mud cover off. Or if you're going to change the front end and it has bead lock with a mud cover on it, you got to have your screwdriver. So I feel like screwdrivers always come in handy. But whenever somebody comes in, the first thing that I do is I go to our mule and grab our impact with a 9/16 socket, and yep. pretty much, if you got a 9/16, you're pretty good to go. Obviously sometimes you got to have, other size wrenches and stuff for, wing posts or wing bolts. But those are quick to get to. But the essentials are a screwdriver and a 9/16 socket.
I love it. Drew, how did you get into racing? I think Jennifer Marshall told me that you're a finance major. So how did you get into racing?
Yeah, so actually Wayne County Speedway, which is where we race on Saturday with the Outlaws, Orville, Ohio, that's my hometown. And Sheldon is from Worcester, which is the neighboring town. So one night that he was at Wayne County, I met him. That's Sheldon. I went over to his house afterwards for a shop party that they were having. Kind of hit it off with Sheldon and was coming around his shop after that kind of frequently. And I was just kind of hanging around him and Ames and Bonsai and Ripper, our crew chief now, and just kind of watched what they do and really didn't do anything with them besides watch. And then that kind of spiraled into Sheldon asking me to go to a race with him, really not knowing what I was doing. And, I didn't do much besides maybe scrape mud and, push tires out to the car. But then it just kind of spiraled into me going more often and, kind of learning in the shop to, kind of helping them out part-time while I was still playing ball. So, like, when I wasn't playing football in the summers, I'd go hang out at the racetrack with those guys, and then went on the All-Star deal with them. Did that as much as I could while still in school, and then as soon as I graduated, the very next week we raced at Eldora, and that was my first outlaw race with the guys as soon as I graduated back in the fall of 17.
Okay, I've got like a million directions I want to go, but I kind of want to go back to the beginning of that. Is the fact that you survived a Haudenschild race party as your first moment, that had to be the initiation right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun, long night. I tell you that much. I won't go into detail, but that kind of broke me into, kind of how these guys roll.
Oh boy.
They're good people all around. The whole racing community. Because there was other racers, and I had some fans and close friends, and that's where I met a bunch of my friends that are today, and that was kind of eye opening that that these people are not only a good time, and it's cool that they race race cars and work on them and stuff, but they're all around good people, and that was something that I kind of held on to and just kind of was like, this is kind of people who I want to be surrounded by and hang out with. And from there, it just kind of went from the next step to the next step to, now I'm fourth year on the Outlaw Tour and working for one of the best teams on the tour, in my opinion, and it's been a blessing.
I'm going to correct one thing. You said they're good people. They're great people. The Haudenschilds are just great, great folks. They really, truly are. But other than that, I'm with you on that. Okay, so now I think Erin said you were a finance major. What in the world were you planning on doing when you got out of college?
I actually wanted to work in the finance industry, the business industry. I wanted to start my own business, and I guess my end goal at the time was to become a financial advisor. And that was all the way up until it was the December before I graduated when, Sheldon had texted me, hey, come on the Outlaw Tour with us. And I'm like, oh man, I got some thinking I got to do. And I talked with my dad, who was a financial advisor still at the time, grandparents' brother, who was a finance guy. So pretty much the guys in my family are all, finance guys. And I was kind of following down that path, just kind of what I knew and where I thought I wanted to go. And in about 2 months, that all changed like real quick. And it was a big eye opener, thinking about, my plans for so long are quickly changing. And it went from sitting with a necktie behind a desk to Dickies shorts and a screwdriver in my back pocket at a dirt track.
What? Okay. I'm sorry there. But I've got to jump in here. Okay. So dad's in the financial business. The entire family's in the financial business. You go through college, you do all this financial stuff. How did those conversations go?
Well, I asked my dad. So my dad, he's the one that took me to the races growing up. He's a diehard fan, like just loves racing. And I told him, and he didn't even really bat an eye. He was like, that would be so cool if you got that opportunity. Yeah. And it was like, I went through all the years of college and all the classes and was getting my degree in finance and was, set up to have a different path and, journey in life. And the night that I can still remember exactly where I was when Sheldon, had asked me. And when I proposed that to my dad, he basically said, this is your life, man. Like, you do what makes you happy. If you don't want to do the financial industry, business industry, you go do the racing thing. But he always, he was very adamant about me finishing my degree, finishing college before I did the Outlaw Tour, because he said, if the racing doesn't work out and you find out you don't like it, you always have something to fall back onto. And I took that to heart, and because I was ready to be done with school and go on the Outlaw Tour in February, and he was very, very adamant that I finish that degree and have that piece of paper in my back pocket. But it's led me down a road that I couldn't be more happy. I don't know, I couldn't imagine my life any differently than working on sprint cars on the World of Outlaws Tour with some of my best friends, and it's been awesome.
I guess.
Yeah. I love the story. I actually have a similar story. I have an engineering degree, and my mom was adamant that I finish my engineering degree, but I was racing full time, and it got real tricky. So I understand, and I always am so appreciative that my mom did make me finish it.
That's funny. I'll let you continue on here. And that's funny because I worked and did all this short track announcing, and I figure I want to move to Charlotte to pursue this full time, and I thought Mom was going to be the hurdle. I'm like, oh, dear God.
Yeah.
When I tell this one, I mean, they put me through college, everything like that. I got my marketing degree from Penn State. I'm selling and everything like that. I sit down with Mom and Dad, and Mom said, well, I wondered when you were finally going to make that move. I'm like huh? What?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be the problem. So it's crazy how that is. That's neat. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that your father and your family was supportive. That financial career can be there long after you're done with the World of Outlaws, but I'm guessing you're probably having more fun than they are. No knock at the financial world. But
yeah, they're always calling, wanting to hear stories and see how the racing's going. They're all about it.
That's good.
That's cool.
They're vicariously living through me.
Now, you mentioned the awesome team that you work for. We know Ricky Stenhouse is a wonderful guy, the Haudenschild, like we talked about. But Richard and Jennifer Marshall are some of the nicest people I've ever met. And you really hit the jackpot with that deal. I mean, I saw you snowboarding in Aspen or wherever you, talk about, or was it Vail maybe, spending time with the Marshalls and all the perks that come with the awesome job you have.
Yeah, from the start, it was, business as usual with Richard and Jennifer, them being the partial owners of our race team. And then also, they're also my bosses. They're great people to work with, great people to talk to. But what I don't think some people understand, obviously people in close proximity to them and see what they do, they realize that they're great people. But even outside of racing, when you're just hanging out and sitting around a campfire or, whatever it may be, out to dinner, they're just great people. From the inner core of inside of them, all aspects, they're just, I'm almost lost for words to tell you how great they are. Honestly, they take care of us really well. They check in often, calls, text messages. And just to be surrounded by good people is really what I love. And they're the exact, replica of great people. And, they have great heart, and they care about, not just our team, but they care about obviously their midget and non-wing and other wing team, through Clausen Marshall. They take care of those guys. And, I will never have anything negative or think to have anything negative to say about them, just because they're just always happy, energetic, and to bring us out to Colorado, invite us to their home, and allow us to go snowboarding out there. That was amazing. I grew up going snowboarding, just on dinky hills around home. And then I went out to Colorado, with an invite from them, and got to go down some mountains with, and it wasn't just myself. It was Sheldon and Zan and Nicholas, and a couple other people who got to go out, and they were great hosts the entire time. And actually, it's funny that I mentioned that. I just got a text from Jennifer just not too long ago before we got on the phone that she'd like us to come back out this winter to go snowboarding again. So they're great hosts, great people, great car owners, great to be around, just all around in general. If whoever's out there that's listening to this, that if you have an opportunity to meet Richard and Jennifer, go up and shake their hands and, thank them for everything that they do for this sport, because it's more than just putting cars on the track. They're putting money up for bounties and, going to the extent to make sure that this sport keeps rolling. And we need more people like that. And it's nothing but good things to talk about with them.
I agree 100% with your sentiments about the Marshalls. I just love them. Now, Jennifer did want me to ask you or ask on the show if you won big or you lost in Vegas with them.
Oh boy.
Wait, say that one more time.
She wanted me to ask about Vegas, if you won or lost in Vegas.
We won in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Me, Jennifer, and Ryan. We were on the craps table the day before we left, and we had some pretty good rolls going on, and yeah, we were doing pretty good. So we won.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Drew, we've spent a lot of time with you talking about traveling here and going here from Vail to West Coast to everywhere. We've talked about that. This Saturday night, the World of Outlaws, in the first time since 1985, which I'm assuming it was before you were even born, they're going to be at your home track, Wayne County Speedway, the track that Pete Jacobs built, Kendra's grandfather built. What is that going to be like? What does that mean for you that you have got a home game, a real home game this weekend?
Yeah. Well, as you were saying that, I got the chills because I've been, not just myself, but I've talked to my dad and with Sheldon and so many other people about how cool it would be to get a World of Outlaws race to Wayne County Speedway. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen, especially this year. I mean, it caught me completely by surprise. But I think it's so cool that the Outlaws are going to Wayne County. That was a track that I grew up going to weekend races. And the fact that, we get to go back home. Obviously, we raced there 3 years ago in 2017 when an Outlaw show got canceled. The 93 car, trucked it back to Wayne County and raced. But now that it's the full series, you're going to have all the NOS Energy drink trucks rolling in and, with the command center and stuff. And, it's going to be a zoo at Wayne County Speedway with the hype around, the fact that the Outlaws are coming, but the fact that Sheldon Haudenschild is, coming back home to race. And for me, I think that's so cool. And, I'm pumped for Sheldon. I know how he has done there in the past. I know the excitement that I have with all, I have a really big family, so all my family members are coming. And I get to see my family, which is going to be really cool. So it's a big buzz around back home. And, I've gotten many text messages and calls about people who are coming out for the first time to watch. And I'm really excited. I'm getting the chills even talking about it.
I'm getting the chills hearing you talk about it. Okay. One thing on that, okay, you need to keep an eye on Zan and Patty because the number of T-shirts they're going to sell will never be seen again in sprint car racing.
Yeah. I was talking to my guys yesterday. I said, they better go out today and start selling so they can, re-up before the weekend because they're going to be sold out with how many people are going to be buying hot stuff.
Yeah. I went to Waynesfield a couple years ago for the All-Star for the Speed Week, and I walked in, and it reminded me of the Midway in NASCAR around Jack's trailer, or Sheldon's trailer, because that was one Sheldon won, okay? It reminded me of that. And I'm standing there, and it struck me. It's like, wait a minute, everyone is already wearing Sheldon shirts, and they're still standing in line. Patty is in there just slinging everything that they have in there. I mean, and Patty, she's just wide open.
Oh, yeah.
And I walk back like an hour later, and the crowd is bigger there. And I'm just like, when I saw this Wayne County, when I saw this, this Wayne County, or this weekend's race, I'm like, are you kidding me? They're going to need, there's not enough cotton on the planet to take care of this. I mean, that is going to be amazing. I've got two more questions. One serious one. I'm going to lay the lighthearted one on you. Then I want to end it with a little bit something a little bit more significant. You are part of a chat group called Gravy's Biscuits. What is that?
I am.
What is that?
Well, it started out as a little chat with some of us out, just random crew guys, on this Snapchat group chat thing, and it kind of escalated, and some other people got added, and now it's a bunch of guys, and somebody renamed it Gravy's Biscuits one night, and we just get on there and talk smack to each other, and laugh about stuff, send each other memes, and it's just kind of
that's cool.
It's almost like a comedy group chat.
Yeah.
In a sense. I mean, there's really no specific topic of conversation that we hold in there besides just, I don't know, goofing around. It's a bunch of grown men that are just messing with each other, and it's comical going through there to read some of the stuff that people are saying.
Well, if it's involved with Gravy, that's Stephen Fairfield. That's with Jason Size. If it's with Gravy, it's involved. Final question for you. At the banquet last year at Charlotte, you were awarded the Jason Johnson Sportsmanship Award. And what did that mean to you to have your effort and work be recognized like that by the industry and by the series and by everyone in the sport?
I think that was really special. At the time, I didn't even think crew guys were even able to win an award, let alone myself. It was really special to, get an award, of that magnitude, in the name of Jason Johnson, as a sportsmanship award. I think that, every night that I went and helped people in the work area, I don't do it for the, publicity or anything. I just do it because I enjoy it. I like to see people get back out on the track with fixed equipment, and I was just doing it for fun and to help people out, and I guess it kind of kicked back and turned into a sportsmanship award, and I'm very thankful for that. And I've always been a team player. Obviously working on other guys' cars in the work area, that's not my team. But if you want to look at it from an aspect of World of Outlaws tour and the grind that we all have to go through together, I feel like that is another aspect of a team, and I enjoy it. It's fun, and like I said earlier, it's an adrenaline rush, and I get that, or I love to have that feeling because growing up I played sports, and I'm a competitive person from the core, and to have an opportunity to beat the clock, to get the car fixed, I really enjoy that, and to have that kick back and turn into a Jason Johnson Sportsman Award, that was really special to me, and I was completely caught off guard when they had announced my name. I sat there in my seat and didn't even really realize it until they told me to go up on stage, and I didn't even know what to say. I was so in shock, but it was really special. I got to have a quick chat with Bobby afterwards, and also Philip Dietz, and just told them how special it was to me that they would honor me with an award of such.
Well deserved, that is for sure. And I am telling you, we appreciate, Drew, you taking some time and sharing your story with us. It's an aspect of the sport that we don't talk about enough. I think Dirt Vision has showcased you guys a lot, especially with all the mobile cameras and everything like that. And I'm glad we got a chance to talk about that for you, but for the other guys also that are in there digging and doing it as well. So we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for having me.
There we go. Drew Brenner joining us. Woo. Man. That was some good stuff right there.
That was really good stuff.
Gosh, that is fascinating. I think about him talking about the adrenaline. This is our little 20-minute podcast that is probably 45 minutes long now. Okay, so I know we're way past time. A good podcast is good content and a good subject, and that was a great subject.
Yes, it was.
Okay, I hope we did it justice talking to him. I mean, that's what it boils down to. He talks about the adrenaline rush, and it's that there's people with passion, and I'm obviously one of those guys that has a lot of energy and a lot of passion too, and I get that. I am telling you, in the NASCAR world, when the caution comes out late in the race and we know we're getting ready for that money stop, that pit stop, when they're coming down pit road, I am telling you, I get all geeked up and ready to call the race on MRN.
Yeah.
And so I get the adrenaline. I get or when you're in the middle of green flag pit stops, when they're cycling in and this lap 7 cars come in and then you throw it to Winston and then Winston comes back and it's back and forth and everything. I get the adrenaline rush that Drew talked about, and I love the adrenaline rush that Drew talked about. It is neat stuff. It really is.
It really is. I mean, he talked about football and his passion, but when you have 2 minutes to fix a car, you don't even know what is broken on it, and you've got crew guys like that. That is a ball of adrenaline in a matter of seconds. It's problem solving. It's all of it. I mean, that's an aspect I hadn't really thought about from the crew side, is the adrenaline that you have. In that moment.
Man, I am glad we got a chance to catch up with him. I really am. Hey, I was driving around the other day, and I saw one of those slick, sleek Ford F-150 Raptors. Now, it's America's favorite high-performance off-road truck, and unlike anything on 4 wheels you'll see out there today, be it on the road, dirt track, desert terrain, or everything in between. The Raptor's aluminum body is matched with a 450 horsepower, 510 foot-pound height output twin-turbo EcoBoost engine, resulting in an unsurpassed power-to-weight ratio.
The Raptor's advanced suspension and comfortable cabin means no territory is unattainable, and no trip is uncomfortable. Ford F-150 Raptor, built Ford tough.
More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Pride. Passion. Performance. We are.
We are.
We are Team Drydean.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
HRP knows sprint car racing. Therefore, they know what works best for your team. No other accessory can match the quality, performance, and design of the trailer and shop accessories that HRP uses. Top trailer builders use HRP trailer accessories to outfit their stock and custom-built units, and they're always adding, like a new cordless tool charging station. Sleek in design, holds 2 cordless drills, and keeps impacts or flashlights or battery chargers all in one little station.
And it keeps clutter from your workbench. Roster includes something for every racer, team, trailer, and shop. Don't settle for anything less than Sprint Car Racing's #1 accessories manufacturer.
Yes, indeed. The upcoming schedule for this weekend, we talked a little bit about it with Drew. 2020 is interesting, and it's interesting in that for the first time in 35 years, the World of Outlaws are going to Orrville, Ohio, Wayne County Speedway. It was fascinating listening to Drew talk about it. We've also, the track was built by Pete Jacobs, father of Dean and Kenny, and Kendra, of course, is a big part of our program, and so that is the track her grandfather built. So I love this weird season that we have is putting us in some spots where we never expected to be, and the first time since 1985. All-Star Circuit of Champions, tonight. We talked to Shane Stewart about running 4 nights in a row. Tonight, Plymouth Dirt Track in Sheboygan, the Race Rudine Foundation race, $26,000 to win.
Wow.
Co-sanctioned with IRA. IRA's never had a race that pays that much to win. So it's going to be good. Friday, 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa. Saturday, their annual visit to Knoxville as we get closer and closer to the big month of August. And the return of Huset's. We had Todd Queering on last week. Man, we're so excited about that. IRA, they run the Thursday night deal in Sheboygan. Then they go to Antigua, Wisconsin and Ashland, Wisconsin for the weekend. Pennsylvania, Port Royal, the Living Legends race, $10,000 to win on Saturday night. Wow. Big stuff, that's for sure. ASCS, their next event on the national tour is the 360 Nationals at Knoxville, followed by the Oski Challenge the next week. And then they go Tuesday night in Lakeside in Kansas City, Wednesday at Caney Valley Speedway in Kansas, Thursday 81 Speedway in Kansas, Friday Creek County Speedway, Sapulpa, Oklahoma, and they end their tour ASCS Sprint Week, non-points all-star format at Little Rock, Arkansas at I-38 Speedway. This weekend, regional racing, the Frontier region is at Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota. The Mid-South region is at Jackson Motor Speedway in Byron, Mississippi. There are lots and lots and lots of races, so you need to get out and see them this weekend.
And you got to say Sheboygan and Sapulpa in one show.
Oh, that's called winning right there. That is called winning. All right. Wing Nation apparel is going to be available at all those all-star races, okay? And if you're not making one of those, you can go to www.wingnation.com to do that. Our social media, Twitter, Facebook, our YouTube page. On the Twitter, make sure you tweet your seat. Show us what you're seeing. May get you on our Saturday morning show over on MAV TV. And speaking of that show, folks, I am telling you, this is one of the best conversations we have ever had with Brad Sweet, the reigning champ of the NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, Saturday morning, and you want to join us over on MAV TV. So looking forward to it. Hey, again, Drew Brenner, tip of the cap to you. What a great story, and we're so glad that we got to talk to you today. For Erin Evernham, I'm Steve Post. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Drydean, by DRF Racing Oils, and by Hercules Tires.